What is up, everybody? Welcome to Travis and Vic's Drunken Horror Adventures. I am Travis. I am rolling solo. I'm going to give a little quick rundown of a movie I just walked out of the theater from. I went to AMC, Stony Brook, Louisville, Kentucky, and I'm literally taking this 2015 Honda Odyssey out of the parking lot as we speak from AMC. Again, I watched The Predator in IMAX. I'm an A-lister with AMC, which means that, I'm part of their subscription service, pay $19.99 a month, 3 movies a week. It's not bad. It's no movie pass, but, you get the IMAX, you get all that shit, and you get a lot less drama than you do with movie pass. So, with that being said, I am going to give kind of a spoiler-free, or as spoiler-free as it can be, breakdown of The Predator. Went into this movie with, I really didn't have any expectations for The Predator, and the reason why is that, to be honest with you, I heard a lot of shit reviews on The Predator online, which doesn't surprise me. And just to kind of give you some background, Predator, the original with Arnold Schwarzenegger, is probably one of my favorite movies. I'm talking top 5, top 10 for sure. Definitely my favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, right above Terminator 2. So yeah, obviously some big shoes to fill here for The Predator, and I kind of knew going in that there was no possible way that was going to happen, that there's just no way that you're going to be able to live up to those type of expectations for a movie like this in 2018, where you're going to get CGI, you're going to get all that shit, so anyway, to go from there, I love The Predator. I like Predator 2 pretty well. Both of the Alien versus Predator movies are forgettable, so not a lot of thoughts on those. And then, to go from there, you've got Predators, which I thought was a good movie. So, a lot of people shit on that movie. I don't have anything bad to say about it. I liked Predators. Now, so to get into this movie, I'm going to get, like I said, I'm trying my best to do some spoiler-free thoughts here. Walking out of the theater, first off, if you go see the movie, again, spoiler-free here, there are no scenes during the credits or after. One thing I noticed pretty quickly was that we've got the Predator music back again from the first one, and I believe it's in the second one too. Now, what I don't remember is if Predators or any of the other ones, the Alien versus Predator ones, had that music. It's pretty distinct. Anyway, so that was sprinkled throughout the movie, that really, really obvious music, really good, loved it. Halfway through the movie, I looked it up, and I had heard that this movie was directed by Shane Black, which I have no idea who Shane Black is. So I look him up, and there are a lot of people saying, well, it's directed by Shane Black, so it's got to be good. And I'm like, okay, cool. Well, I look him up, and the first movie that I see is Iron Man 3, and I'm like, oh shit, because I'll be honest with you, I fucking hate Iron Man 3. I'm a fan of Iron Man 2's okay, and Iron Man 3 just pisses me off. As a comic book fan, not a hardcore comic book fan, because I don't read them anymore. I haven't read a comic book, like a new one, in 20 years probably. Just as the classic comic books go, Iron Man 3 really pissed me off. But that aside, that kind of even lowered my expectations even more for The Predator. I mean, because obviously I was not a fan of Iron Man 3. Shane Black wrote and directed it. But, just to give my thoughts here, The Predator was really fun. Like, you go into a movie like this with no expectations, you're going to be just fine. It's not the type of movie that's an intelligent movie. And what I found interesting is that this one had a lot of comedy. To kind of compare it to Predator 2, there was some comedy mixed in there. Especially in Predator, the first, 30 minutes of Predator was interesting to me because, you had all the comedy, but once shit hit the fan, it got real, and most of the comedy went out the window. I'd say the same was true of Predator 2. Now, this one, it was almost, well, it wasn't almost, it was throughout the movie. So, a different vibe to this movie, not nearly as dark as Predator 1 through 3, if you want to consider Predators to be part 3. But yeah, it just the comedy was all over the place. You had Thomas Jane in the movie. I think it was Jordan Peele. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure Jordan Peele was in this. You had one of the guys from Black Panther in this. Olivia Munn was in it, and there were some others. One cool thing, and this is not a spoiler, Jake Busey was in the movie, which I thought was cool because Gary Busey was in Predator 2, so there's a nice little homage there. In fact, there's a lot of homages in this movie. They're fairly obvious, so you don't have to look too hard for these little Easter eggs throughout the movie. But again, this is not a thinking man's movie. This is an action movie through and through. The reason why we're talking about it on a horror podcast is, I've always felt like Predator had some horror elements to it. I mean, you're getting stalked by a predator. What the hell's scarier than a monster coming after you? But, for the most part, it is action. There's a lot of gore in this movie. Not over the top, but there were some decapitations, people getting their stomach taken out. The type of stuff that you would expect from the first Predator, the second Predator, and even Predators. So that was good. Obviously, there's CGI mixed in. I don't think it was bad CGI. It was just there. I don't really have anything good or bad to say about the CGI. It was just there. It didn't bother me at all. Don't know how much of it was practical versus CGI, and that's always probably a good thing. This basically, the plot of it is, you've got this predator, but it's not the predator we're used to. It's a bigger predator, some sort of a hybrid, and they get into, where the idea of this comes from and how it happens, and I won't spoil that for you, but it's kind of by the numbers as far as Predator and Predator 2 goes, and even the Predators rather, is that, it's just badasses getting picked off one by one. Military group as in Predator, or cops in Predator 2, or gang members, and then, all sorts of different people in the Predators. So this one, where does it rank among them? I won't even put it in the same, universe as Alien versus Predator, because that's just different shit, and I don't want to compare that to this. It's hard. It's hard. It really is, because this one was a lot more tongue-in-cheek than the other three, so I would rank it behind them. And that's certainly no knock on the movie. As far as recent movies that we've gotten, I mean, it's a hell of a lot more fun than a lot of the other ones we've been getting lately at the theaters. So I enjoyed it for what it was. It was fun. It was a good ride. I enjoyed the little tie-ins. I thought the first trailer that hit for this movie was absolute shit. And then it got good from there, some of the other trailers. So no complaints there. But yeah, I think it's worth seeing if you're a MoviePass subscriber or an A-list subscriber, especially if you're an A-list subscriber. Check it out in IMAX. It was a good ride. Maybe in Dolby. I don't know that we even have Dolby at my theater. Dolby surround sound or whatever the hell it is. But the IMAX experience was pretty good, especially for the fact that I don't pay for the ticket. I actually went in, had a large popcorn, large Diet Coke, and fucking M&Ms, and I was happy with being there. So it was a nice little romp on a Friday afternoon. But if you're paying full price, I don't know if I would recommend that. Maybe a matinee, maybe a $5 Tuesday type thing. It's a good movie. Kind of like The Nun. A little bit better than The Nun, in my opinion. A lot less boring, obviously. This would be 3 out of 4 machetes for me. It was just fun. I keep saying that, but I don't know how else to describe it. It was enjoyable. It just wasn't, it's not going to be a classic, but it was worth a shot, and it's worth seeing, just to do it. But again, don't, blow your bank on it, because it's not worth that. And let's be honest, very few are anymore if you're not, one of these members of these subscription services, whether it's Cinemark Movie Club, MoviePass, or AMC A-List. So those are my thoughts. 3 out of 4 machetes, and that's about it. I'm not going to throw out any plugs this week. No point in doing that, but you can check us out on Tuesday, September 25th. We will be talking about the top 10 horror movies of 1985. Our fan vote will probably have 16 movies in there for you to vote on. and we'll find out who the fan champion is after it's all said and done. With movies like Friday the 13th Part 5, Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, The Howling 2, and then you got the heavy hitters in the Fright Night, Day of the Dead, Return of the Living Dead, Reanimator. It's going to be interesting to see what the fans think and what they have at number 1. So tune in on Spreaker, Travis and Vic's Drunken Horror Adventures. And as always, we'll have it up on our Facebook page and our Twitter. But yeah, I mean, that's all I've got this week. I'm sitting here watching this person try to pull out. They're driving a Ford Taurus, and they're acting like they're driving a fucking Mack truck. Can't get it out of a parking spot to save their life. And I'm checking. Yeah, I can't tell if they're old or what. I think they're just stupid. So, that happens. They just had a hard time because they're stupid. Anyway, I'm going to go into Walgreens now and see what Funko Pops and what Halloween decorations they have. Oh, and one last thing. This isn't a real spoiler on the movie. This all takes place right around Halloween. So you've got kids in Halloween costumes and shit. So a fun little ride here. You get that Halloween feel from it. Obviously, you do not get, I will